Hello and welcome again to Fox Comics and Games in beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. And we are unpacking this week's comic book order. And today is Tuesday, May 28th. These items all go on sale Wednesday, May 29th, 10 a.m. at Fox's, beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. All right, first up we have from The Witcher, Geralt in the Bath statue. And as you can see, I think it's self-explanatory. We don't need to explain that too much. It is what it is. And other than that, I think the only other statues that came in this week are some Harley Quinn DC collectibles. And some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. So it is that Harley Quinn statue from DC Collectibles. They are limited in production. I think there's only a couple of thousand. So those are pretty cool. Then next up in the book section, we have some Transformers. The Classics Trade Paperback Volume 1. Got in more of these, so those of you that are Transformers fans, a great place to jump in on some of their old stuff. Hardcover of The Art of Lady Death. These are all signed by Brian Paluto. It's a great product, great price. There's a limited number of them that were done, and we are quite excited to have it. We also got in some of the hardcovers of James Bond 007 The Body, one of the more recent runs for Dynamite that's out there for Ian Fleming's Man of Mystery. Comic-wise, we're going to start this week with Marvel's Age of X-Men Extremis issue 4, and really starting to heat up the Age of X-Man. Also from Marvel, up next is The Amazing Spider-Man 22. Looks like part 6 of The Hunted. And that's the great variant cover in our top 5. Mainly just because of his spiked mohawk. We liked that. Then from Image Publishing, up next is Jeff Lemire's beautiful Ascender, issue 2. Probably our most anticipated book tomorrow, which is Wednesday, May 29th, is the DC Black Label's Batman, The Last Night on Earth, Book 1. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are working on it, and it looks beautiful. You can see the Joker's head in the lantern. We thought that was fantastic. It is in the running for cover of the week. And then the beautiful variant cover for it. We've already bagged and boarded the variants. That's how we roll at Fox's. Next up from Marvel, issue 12 of Black Panther. And then from Valiant, which if you're not reading Valiant, there's something wrong with you. We have Bloodshot Rising Spirit, issue 7. And as always, they're the pre-order bundles. That's the cover you'll get if this comic is on your pull list. Fantastic. Next up from Archie, we have Blossoms 666 issue 4, or Blossoms, I guess it could be if you're so inclined. We prefer the Blossoms. But then the fantastic variant cover of the Occult Archie. Looks pretty wicked. Then from DC, we have Catwoman Annual number 1. Just fantastic book. Joelle Jones doing a great job on it. And then next up from Zenoscope, we have Conspiracy. And that is Lizard People. Marvel's up next with issue 6 of Daredevil. Aftershock Comics comes in next with Dark Red, issue 3. And following up that Aftershock Comics is another Aftershock Comics, issue 5 of Dead Kings. And then DC Comics is up next with Batman Detective, Annual number 2. And that looks like some unfinished business, if you know what I mean. And then up next from IDW, we have issue 2 of Dick Tracy, Forever. And then next up from Marvel, we have issue 13 of Doctor Strange. And speaking of 13 and Doctor, up next from Titan Comics, we have Doctor Who, the 13th Doctor, issue 8. Then next up, we have from DC, in their 3.5-year series Doomsday Clock, issue 10. And fantastic cover in the running for cover of the week. The variant cover for issue 10 of Doomsday Clock. Marvel is up next with issue 10 of the Fantastic Four, and it has a War of the Realms tie-in. Issue 10 of Fantastic Four. Up next from Dark Horse Comics, issue 5 of Fight Club 3. His third chapter in the Fight Club, I guess, trilogy so far. Next up from Valiant, and again, if you're not reading Valiant, you need a haircut. We have The Forbidden Queen, issue 4. Great cover on that. And then if The Forbidden Queen is on your pull list, that's the cover you'll be getting, as well as a couple of pages of additional content at no higher price. Marvel is up next with Giant Man, and that's part of the War of the Realms tie-in, issue 2 on Giant Man. Albatross Comics is up next with issue 2 of Eric Powell's The Goon, The Villainy of Vinny Nosferatu. And then we have from Dark Horse Comics, it looks like a one-off of Mike Mignola's Hellboy versus Lobster Johnson, The Ring of Death. So that is exactly what you think it should be, and that is actually in our top 5 covers of the week just for its pulp campiness. We appreciated that more than anything. Up next from DC, we have issue 9 of 9, so this is the final Heroes in Crisis, the last chapter. And as we always do, we show the beautiful variant covers. We've already bagged and boarded our variants. So that's the variant for Heroes in Crisis, issue 9 variant. Next up from Antarctic Press, we have Horror Comics, issue 1. Do You Dare Enter the Realm of Horror Comics? Kind of a throwback to back in the day. Fantastic idea. Another one of our top 5 covers is up next. It is from Marvel. It is issue 18 of The Immortal Hulk. That is just a great furrowed brow on Hulk. And then part of the Battle Lions variants, the Hulkbuster suit from Iron Man is part of the variant for Immortal Hulk 18. Aftershock Comics is up next, which they're just getting bigger and bigger in our store. With issue 1 of Killer Groove, we went ahead and marked them $3.99 so that everybody would know. We just stuck that sticker right on the front of the comic just to make it easy to tell. That's how we roll at Fox's. Next up from Titan Comics, issue 5 of Life is Strange. And we prove that every day at Fox's. We do. And if we don't, our customers do. So one of us is always proving Life is Strange. Next up from Marvel, we have issue 3 of The Magnificent Miss Marvel. And as wont we do, the variant cover for The Magnificent Miss Marvel issue 3. Then next up from Marvel, without a foot on the screen, we have, if that's somebody calling us, know that we'll call you back in a prompt and timely fashion. Without 1 foot drawn on the cover, we have issue 4 of Major X from Jeff Liefeld. So if you don't like feet, that's the comic for you. And then next up from Boom Studios, we have issue 39 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Beyond the Grid still. And again, the variants that we get, we like to show. Although I did forget to grab the Peter Cannon Thunderbolt variant, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous variant. But next up from Dynamite Publishing, we have issue 5 of Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt. Oh, thank you. And this is the variant cover here. That is the regular Peter Cannon Thunderbolt right there. Mr. Fox made a little mistake pulling that. You'll have to bear with me. I'm still new to the job. And then next up from Valiant Publishing, Punk Mambo #2. And that is the pre-order variant. So if that's on your pull list, that's the one you'll be getting. The regular cover on that did not arrive. We will be getting that from Diamond during this next week. Next up from Antarctic Press, issue 4 of Rags. And then from Oni Press, kind of a special edition of Rick and Morty, issue 50. That's the standard cover. And then this is the connecting cover variant. And this is the other connecting cover variant. They have one for Rick and one for Morty. And then they have their reprint of the very first issue of Rick and Morty as a variant for Rick and Morty issue 50. Then next up from Image Publishing, we have issue 297 on our road to 300 of Spawn. Todd McFarlane kicking some butt and put the pedal down to the metal. Then next up from Marvel, part of the Gamerverse, we have Spider-Man City at War, issue 3, for those of you playing the game. Ties into the game rather nicely. IDW is up next with issue 2 of Star Trek Year 5 on their 5-year mission. Marvel is also up next with Star Wars Legends 108, and as I understand it, that is the follow-up to the Star Wars Marvel had back in the days, the 70s and 80s. It is the next sequential comic in that series. So for those of you who read Star Wars back in the day, that's a nice little gift from Marvel. Also up from Marvel is Star Wars Vader Dark Visions. And in our top 5 for covers of the week, beautiful TIE fighter that hovering above his hand there, that's just gorgeous. Next up from Dark Horse Comics, we have issue 1 of Stranger Things. And pretty cool. And then that's one of the variants for issue 1, Stranger Things. And then it's Stranger Things 6, I'm sorry. And then issue 1 of Stranger Things 6 movie variant there. Marvel's up next with issue 6 of The Superior Spider-Man. Pretty wicked cover. DC, again, with a great, highly anticipated title, hitting the same time as Black Label Batman, is Superman Leviathan Rising. And looks pretty wild. I think that's Brian Michael Bendis doing it, so it should be pretty sassy. Marvel is up next with issue 2 of Thanos. And in our top 5 covers of the week is the variant cover for Thanos. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Not in our covers of the week, Thor, issue 13. For those of you who like your stories good and your art not so good. IDW is up next with issue 94 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then up next from IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends issue 13. And then also from IDW, Transformers #2. I believe that to be a reorder. I think there are a couple of issues ahead of that now, but that's a reorder. Action Labs is up next with The Voracious Appetite for Destruction, issue 1. Great jumping on point. Aftershock Comics is up next with Garth Ennis's A Walk Through Hell, issue 10. And I think we've all been to those Comic Cons before, haven't we? Up next from Marvel, War of the Realms, Spider-Man and the League of Realms, issue 2. And then up after that is from Marvel, War of the Realms, War Scrolls, issue 2. DC's up next with The Wildstorm, issue 23. And then Marvel is up next with issue 5 of Wolverine, The Long Night. And then after that, we have also from Marvel, issue 12 of X-23 in our top 5 covers of the month, or the week. Good job, Marvel. And our last comic of the day is, I think, the 3rd volume on this series that they're running, and they're always really well done. It's great art. It's old school paper. It's everything you would want out of a comic book. And it is X-Men Grand Design Extinction. And it is issue 1 of that, and they are all phenomenal. You can see the art and the paper on the inside is really, really cool. They do a great job with that, Marvel does. So that is the comics and statues and whatnot that came in this week. We hope you'll be in tomorrow on Wednesday, May 29th, and buy some of this stuff up. Hope to see you tomorrow at Fox Comics and Games, beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. Thanks.